Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. Today is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026, and I want to welcome you here today. Let me get things out of the way here so we can get started. All right, I'm a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I just want to show you some cards that we're going to make today. We're going to have 3 greeting cards, and I'm kind of flustered right now. I'm not going according to my program here. Let's back up a little bit. Like I said, my name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I want to welcome you here today. I try to do a video every week on Thursday mornings at 10:30 Central Time, so I hope you'll add me to your calendar and maybe join me weekly. Okay, so let me go ahead and we'll go through our housekeeping notes here. Paper pumpkin for the kit for February. It says it's Celebrate Spring, and you have until February 10th to sign up for this paper pumpkin kit. It says craft whimsical handmade cards that celebrate Easter and sweet spring days. Makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs and coordinating envelopes. Pre-cut paper pieces and pink baker's twine. Iridescent pink and yellow sequins. And the Stampin' spot that you'll get with this one is going to be Shy Shamrock. And this paper pumpkin kit will also coordinate with the Easter Joy Sweet Collection, which is item number 166954. So you might want to add that to your order. And to go along with our January, February, and March paper pumpkin kits, Stampin' Up! Has quarterly dies that will go with those. And this is called Beautiful Blooms Dies add-on. And the item number is 168666. And the price is $13. So that's a pretty good bargain for all those dies. And you can use it not just on paper pumpkin, but you can use it any other time also. Okay, and then next we have product of the month for January is called Fabulous Sayings. It's a stamp set. So when your order reaches $75 before tax and shipping, you're able to add on the stamp set for only $5. So that's a really good deal for a stamp set, only $5. And look at all those sentiments in there. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And then we also have lots of things going on in Stampin' Up! World right now. Bonus days, which started January 6th and runs until February 2nd. So you've got a little while left on this. For every $50 you spend, you'll receive a $5 coupon in your email. So you want to keep that email, those codes, because you don't want to lose them. You want to be able to redeem them. And it says there's no limit to how many coupons you can earn. So make sure to share. Okay, it wants me to share this with you. And be sure that you keep those emails that you receive with those codes. Put them in a safe spot. Maybe take a picture, add them to your phone so you don't lose them. And all right. And like I said, you got until February 2nd to earn these, but then starting February 3rd, you can start redeeming those. So you can redeem your coupons from February 3rd to the 28th. Use as many coupon codes as you want during checkout. And a tip is remember to separate each code by a space. And make sure to use them all before the month is over because you'll lose them. All right. And the product of the month for January, I showed you already the stamp set, but the December one is still available. So that's the Designer Series paper, the True Blue Florals, 12 by 12. So you can pick between the stamp set or the DSP if you haven't done so yet. Okay. And then starting on February 3rd through March 2nd, Stampin' Up! Has started a new promotion for getting your starter kit to join my team. And what that is you pay $99 for your kit. That's free shipping and everything. And then you get to pick out $125 worth of products. But also, they'll also automatically send you our new stamp positioning thing. Yeah, just stamp positioner is what it's called. You get that free with when you sign up for your kit. So you might want to check that out. I know we had one from before and we don't have it anymore. So this is a new one that's coming out. And that's only available to people that get the starter kit. So it might be something you want to think about. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can reach me at my email address, which is in the description down below. And also, if you want to shop with me, that's scrolling across the bottom. And I'd appreciate any orders from you. So help support me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our program today. Let me take that off. And like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and you can shop with me in the website that's scrolling across the bottom. And if you need to email me, you can reach me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. So let me take this off, get it out of our way, and bring my comments back up. Say hello when you come on. And we're going to be doing 3 cards today. Let me put you down my desktop. All right. And the camera's a little fuzzy. I'm not sure why. Is it my lighting? I don't know, maybe. Hope you can see that okay. Here's our first card. Let me know if you can see that okay. It looks like it might be trying to clear up a little bit. Okay. So we're going to be using the Sweet Bugs stamp set. I'm not using the dies today, just the stamp set. And here is our card. Love you lots. Put that up there so you can see it better. And I haven't put anything on the inside yet. We're going to decide that as we go. So take my instructions off of there. And we'll go ahead and get started here. We're going to start out with our card base, which is our very vanilla. This is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to burnish that fold line with our bone folder. And we're going to go landscape on this one. And then next we have a layer of Blackberry Bliss. This is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And I've got to get one more stamp out here. I missed those little dots here. I forgot them. This is our new packaging for our stamp set. I'm still getting used to it. They take up a whole lot less space on your shelf. A lot skinnier. Okay, so let me bring a block over here. I need to clean my blocks here one of these days. All right, so we're going to grab our Blackberry Bliss ink pad. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm just going to put a couple lines up on the corners. And I'm alternating my stamp as I go around. And put that there for a moment. Close up that ink pad because we're going to assemble our card first before we do any more stamping. So I'm going to place this layer on the card front. And we're going to leave a small border going around that. Is that straight? Looks like it to me. All right. You can barely see those little dashes that I put on there with the Blackberry Bliss. And then next we have a layer of Poppy Parade, and this measures 1.5 inches by 4 7/8 inches. That's going to go across our center area here. I'm going to go ahead and attach that. Center that. And then next we have our Designer Series paper, which comes from, oops, it's upside down, Cute as a Bug 12 by 12 paper. And we're using this pattern right here. As you can see. And this measures 3 inches by 4 inches. And that'll go across there. But we're going to put dimensionals on the back of that. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool to pull those dimensionals off this sheet. And I'm just going to put across the top and across the bottom. And 3 at top and 3 in the bottom should work to hold it. And take those dimensional backings off. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell y'all something, but I don't remember what it would be. All right, this is going to go across the center. And I'll move that over just a tiny bit. Well, it's a little bit crooked. Let's straighten that out. Well, guess that's straight. Okay, so there we have so far. Next, we're going to, I die cut a circle out of our very vanilla, and that circle was cut with our stylish shapes. And I used this die right here. And also I cut a banner for our sentiment, which came from Delightful Wishes dies. And it's this die right here. I can grab a hold of it. And we're going to close up our glue, and we're going to do some stamping here. Okay, we want these 2 stamps. I'm using I guess it's a caterpillar of some kind with the leaf, holding a leaf. So we're going to stamp him using our black memento stamp pad. And we're just going to put him kind of off to the right side of our circle. And then again, I'm going to bring our little dots over here and our Blackberry Bliss ink pad. We're going to add some ground to our caterpillar so he's not walking in the air. Just a little. And then I'm going to stamp our sentiment onto our little label here. It says, "Love you lots." And bring that over here, stamp that. That's a little bit crooked. Let me see, I've got an extra one here. Let me see if I can't do that a little bit better. That one's a little bit better, I think. Let's save that for another time. Okay, and this is going to go across the bottom, and this is going to go right over here, but we're going to color our caterpillar first. And I'm using Blackberry Bliss and Old Olive Stampin' blends. And we're going to start with the light Blackberry Bliss first. I'm doing this lower portion of his body with the light, and then I'm going to do the dark Blackberry Bliss across the top side. And I'm going to come back in with the dark Blackberry Bliss. I think I'm going to try using the brush end here. Do this a little faster. Okay, and now we're going to do the leaf with our Old Olive. And I'm going to start with the light. Let me see if I can use that brush end. Turn this a little bit, get around there. And then we'll come back with the dark. All right, that's enough of the coloring. All right, now we're going to add this to our right side of our designer series paper. I want that little bee to show up there, so I'm going to kind of squish it down a little bit towards the bottom. And let's place that down. Make sure he's walking straight. And then next we're going to add our label. And I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to ink up the edges of my label. And And I'm not putting that on dimensionals either. I'm just going to glue it directly down to our card. So, love you lots. I'm going to kind of put it at the bottom edge of our designer series paper. And then next we're going to add a bow that I made out of our, what is it called? Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I'm using the crumb cake one. No, very vanilla one. And I've already made that bow ahead of time. So let me straighten this out a little bit. It's all twisted. Okay. And then we're going to attach that to our left side of our label there. And I'm going to use a mini glue dot. Attach that to the side. Push that down into that. And my bow is still messing up here. And twist that a little bit so it lays better. And then we're going to add some bling. And I am using the low profile sparkle dots. And I think I'm going to go with the green here. And let me start with a large green one. I can get it off of there. And that's going to go at the bottom of this. And then a small one above that. And I'm going to do a large and a small. Let's go with 2 large there. And then we'll grab a small one. We want odd numbers. I'm going to put that right on the label. So here's our card. I think I'm going to add a little Wink of Stella to this guy. Wrapping things over here. Just to give him a little bit of bling. Where did I put it? I think on the darker area of the leaf. And a little sparkle on his upper body area. I don't know if the camera's going to bring in that shine or not. A little bit. And like I said, I didn't put nothing on the inside. Let's see, what do we have? Already got Love You Lots. I'm going to wait on the inside. I'll debate what I want to put in there later. So here's our first card. Love You Lots. Okay, and then on with our second card. Put that over here. We have got a fun fold. I'm using a different paper for ours today. This was just my sample card. It says here for you always, and then it opens like this. So you're seeing both sides of the designer series paper. Well, you could. But we're going to use the yellow Darling Duckling paper today. Okay, so we've got 2 pieces of our Darling Duckling cardstock, and those measure 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And then we've got 2 designer series paper, which comes from the 2025 to 2027 in color 6x6 paper. And we're using this design. And these measure 4 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches, and then it's scored at 1/2 inch and at a 2 1/8 inches. So 2 1/8 inches and then a 1/2 inch on the one side. So we have 2 of those. I've already done the scoring. And this is going to go on top of this layer. And this is going to go on there. So we're going to go ahead and attach those. And just put that right up against that score line. Make sure they're even on the top and bottom. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. And match them up, press that down. Here we have our card so far. We're going to cover up that back side. So we're going to take this other piece that we cut 2 of, and that's going to go onto our back. You wouldn't have to, but it kind of looks better from the outside. And I'm going to match that up with the other, staying between those score lines. And our top and our bottom. So you got a nice area on the back. You can write also on that if you wanted to. But this is going to go like this. We're going to score those lines. Okay, so here's our card so far. The 2 layers of cardstock. And then next we have, I have die cut our basic white, and I use the perennial postage dies. And I have used this larger one and this smaller one. And we are going to stamp our greeting onto our small layer. And that is going to be here for you always. And I'm going to use our black Memento ink. And I'm just going to stamp that, the upper right hand corner. Close that up. And then I have stamped my flowers already onto that same designer series paper. That way I don't have to color it, it's already done. And that's for the outside, this is for the inside. And then I've die cut 2 granny apple green leaves. And those dies are, I didn't show you which stamps that we're using here. Let me get back to that. Where did I put it? Well, goodness, here they are. I'm using the Lovely Arrangements bundle. The dies. So we're using this flower and this flower. But I've already done that and die cut it already, so save a little time. We're going to take this larger flower and we're going to place a dimensional on the back side of that. Just one in the center. It's going to go here, and then we're going to place our leaves. Something like that. But we're going to go ahead and attach this to our left hand flap. And we don't want to put glue on the whole thing, so we're just going to do a little bit of it. I'm going to close that and center this. Press that down. So it'll open like that. And we'll take our flower and we'll attach that. And that looks good right there. And then we're going to add our glue to the back of our leaves. And I'm going to put one here. And the other one we will put maybe right about there. Okay. And then our inside, we need a layer of our basic white. What did I do with that? I've got things on my desk. And I can't find what I'm needing. Okay, it's right here beside me. I was hiding. And I've got a layer of basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And that's going to go on our inside. Oh, no we don't. Scratch that idea. We got the die cut here that goes on the inside. But I want to stamp our sentiment first in case I mess it up. And wishing you the best. And the upper left-hand corner. Wishing you the best. And we'll attach that to the inside of our card. We're doing really good on our time. I have to run some errands after I get done here today. We've got some bad weather coming into Arkansas supposedly, so I better go stock up on my groceries, I guess, to last a few days. And this one I also stamped onto our designer series paper and die cut it already. And this is going to go at the bottom corner. Okay, so here we have that, and then we're going to add some bling to that. And these come from the 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls. You might take your pick tool back over here, and I think I'm going to stick with the yellow. Darling Duckling. And this one there. Right next to it. And a little one we'll put up here. Okay, so here's our second card. Here for you always. And then it opens like this. Wishing you the best, all the best. And you could also put a message on the back side, or if you wanted to write a note or something, that would work. So that's our second card. And now our next one. Instructions there. Extra pieces over here. Be sure that you like and share the video. And if you're watching me on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And that little bell, you'll be notified when I go live. Okay, so here's our third card. Hello, friend. And I haven't put nothing on the inside yet, so we're going to have to figure out what we want in there as we go. Okay, so hello, friend. Sit up there. We're going to start out with our Secret C as our card base. And that again measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So let's burnish that whole line with our bone folder. It's going to go this way, landscape. And then I have a layer of cloud cover, which is 3 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And I have embossed that using our new embossing folder, the traditional labels dies. Okay. Take that out of there. You can see nice grooves in this. That was traditional labels. Oops. No, Lovely Stripes Embossing 3D. It goes with the traditional labels. And I've already embossed that. We're going to place that layer down in the center. And bring my glue back over here. It's going to go centered on the front of our card. Press that down good. I think it moved on me. Well, I'm having problems getting things straight today. Is that straight? And then next we have a layer of Darling Duckling. And this measures 2 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. It's going to go across our embossed layer. That sure looks crooked to me. It is. Well, I'll use my square here. Let me see. Yeah, it is crooked. Just a hair. Fix that. Now we can add our Darling Duckling layer. Goes across that. It must be the stripes that are throwing me off. It seems like it's crooked, but it's not. All right, we're going to set that aside. And then I've got our Designer Series paper, which comes from Florals in Bloom. And I'm using this pattern here. But it has a little bit of different flowers on my piece. So that measures 2 inches by 4 1/2 inches. And we're going to get our paper trimmer and we're going to cut that down into 3 equal parts. So it would be 1 1/2 inches by 2 inches. So let's cut this up 1 1/2. You want to keep them in order. And the next one, 1 1/2. And all 3 equal sizes. And we're going to put these up on dimensionals. So let me bring them up here and get our dimensionals going. And I know they're small, but I don't want them sinking, so I'm putting 2 at the bottom and 2 at the top on all of them. Hope everybody's having a good week. Ours has been good. I can't complain, I guess. And I take your pick tool, pop off those backings. I think I'm going to start with the one in the center first. Get that lined up, and then I can do the outside edges easier. Put that centered. And this will go on this side. Leaving a small gap in between them. Yeah, put this one. I'm kind of hanging off the edge here, so I'm going to let that hang off. Okay, and then next we have a 1/2 inch strip of basic white. And these are the strips that I have when I cut my paper left over. So I save those to use for sentiments. And we're going to go with Hello Friend. And this one comes from this one also, Hello Friend. Stamp pad. And it came out pretty straight. I had extra there just in case. And snip that off straight. Paper snips. And then I'm going to angle the other side. And it's going to go right, glued down directly onto our card front. Oops, and I drop it. And I'm going to place that right up against the edge of this designer series paper. Okay, so far. And then next we've got a bow we're going to add. I'm using 2 different ribbons here. I wanted to decide which one I want to use. One comes from the Cloud Cover textured ribbon, which is this one, or the Cloud Cover faux linen ribbon is this one. So I'm undecided which one to use. It's going to be right here. Or does this one look better? The larger bow. Kind of like the larger bow better. They're both cute though. I think I'm going to go with the larger one. So that would be from the Cloud Cover textured ribbon. And bring my glue dots back over here. And we're going to place that right here. And then I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors and shorten those tails a little bit. Just a little on that one. All right, and then we're going to add some bling to this. These are the antique pearls. And I'm going to add 3 of those. So a large one. Oops. And a small one. And another large one. Can go right here. Okay, hello friend. And then for the inside, I've got a basic white layer, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And let me see what I can put in the inside. Maybe always here for you on the inside. That would be good. Did I already get it out? I guess I already got it out. Yeah, we did. Always here for you. And we're going to do black pigmento. And we're going to stamp that right in the center. And now we can attach that to the inside of our card and call it done. Okay. Hello, friend. Always here for you. That reminds me, I got to get a card out in the mail today. Oh, what is on there? Okay, so here's our 3 cards for today. Okay. So I want to thank you for being here today, and be sure that you like and share the video if you're watching on Facebook. And if you're watching me on YouTube, be sure you hit that subscribe button and also that little bell so you'll be notified when I go live. So y'all have a good rest of the day, and we will see you next week, which will be January 29th. 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 Mountain Time, and 8:30 Pacific Time. So until then,